Hello, and welcome to another edition of An English Guy Watching Wrestling. I'm the English Guy, I'm Nick, and just as I start this video, there's a car alarm going off, and it's not my car, because I don't own one. So if you hear that in the background, there's not much I can do about it, so I do apologise. Bit of an unusual start, but in this episode, we're going to be covering the 6th of July 2021 edition of AEW Dark, and the last AEW Dark, and they're going to have in Jacksonville for a while, and a lot happened on this one. 17 matches to get into, so without any further delay, let's jump right into it. Opening matchup was between Lance Archer and a debuting Ryan Mantell. Now, Lance Archer, as of late, and there goes the car alarm stopped, sorry. As of late, Lance Archer has been an absolute tear in AEW, and I think he's a guy that's never failed to be entertaining in any way, shape, or form because he is the murder hawk monster. And against a very game Ryan Mantell, even though Lance did dominate most of the match, Ryan did show some good signs of things here. Say right. And this was a good showing from him. Good showing from him in his debut. Sorry, but I enjoyed this one. I did, and I thought it was a good, fun, short match. But you know what? Sometimes that kind of thing, nothing wrong with it whatsoever. So there you go. Thumbs up to a fun opening matchup. This matchup was Terrence and Terrell Hughes, the Hughes brothers, versus QT Marshall and Aaron Solo. Now, of course, the Hughes brothers, my apologies, are the sons of Devon Dudley, arguably one of the best tag team wrestlers of all time. Everybody knows who the Dudley boys are. And it's good to see their sons continue on the tradition of tag team wrestling. Not the first time in AEW, to be fair. But you know what? This was a decent but fun short matchup. And QT Marshall and Aaron Solo, I can't help but really like them as a tag team. And basically the whole faction as of late, they've been really, really entertaining to watch. And this was no different. The tag team continuity between Marshall and Solo was actually very good here. But against two guys like the Hughes brothers, that's not going to be. I say the Hughes brothers, that's going to be something that's going to be hard to match because obviously twin brothers, the Hughes brothers, this is no tag team wrestling. Pretty much everything their dad probably taught them about tag team wrestling, and who better to teach than anyone than Devon Dudley. And you know what? I think his attitude towards how he did things with Bubba Ray Dudley kind of rubs on his sons, and it showed in this match a little bit with the what's up head, but everybody knows what that is by now, I'm sure. But the night belongs to QT Marshall and Aaron Solo. And I said, they're showing more continuity tag team as of late. They've been impressive to watch, and I enjoyed this match, to be fair. It was good to see a bit of an elevation, no pun intended, that AEW Dark elevation was earlier in the week. But it was a fun, short match. Sorry, not a short match. It wasn't that short match. It was a good match. I've enjoyed this one, so thumbs up to both teams. It was a fun, short match. And this match was definitely short. It was Abaddon versus Natalia Markova. And of course, Abaddon, the creepiest, scariest, and most perhaps intimidating female competitor in AEW. And no other way to say it. You know, she did win this matchup in fairly quick succession. And Abaddon is continuing to be the most unique competitor in the women's division. I'm going to say that for sure. And she showed it here. So it was a fun, short match. So, there you go. So the next matchup was Carly Bravo versus Matt Seidel. And Matt Seidel, as of late, is in AEW, has been on a roll. He's been doing some really, really good stuff. And Carly, and he did show it here. And this was a good, short, fun matchup. And he did win the Lightning Spiral. And Carly Bravo has been in AEW before. And he's shown some good stuff in the past, to be completely fair. But this night did belong to Matt Seidel with the Lightning Spiral. But it was a fun, short matchup. I enjoyed this one. So both been put on a good, entertaining match here. So, there you go. Oh. Yeah, now my phone posted everything right. Next matchup was Trey Lamar making his AEW debut versus The Blade. And again, with AEW talent coming in to show what they can do in terms of good overall hard-hitting offense. Well, not hard-hitting offense, just offense full stop. They're about. Trey Lamar did that in this matchup, and he was impressive, to be fair, against The Blade. And The Blade, arguably one of the toughest competitors in AEW, and a seasoned veteran. I think 20 years now in the business. I'm not too sure. 19 years I do. And I'm not sure if he's gone any further than that. But he had a good matchup against Trey Lamar. I enjoyed this one, back and forth matchup, and it was a good matchup, and probably one of the matches of the night, to be fair. And I thought this was an enjoyable matchup and a good debut from Trey Lamar. I thought he was in very impressive form, but the Blade did win the matchup and showed what he's about. He's had a great run in AEW as a singles wrestler. Obviously, the Butcher on the sidelines of injury right now, but you know what? I can't help but be impressed with this matchup. It was good stuff. I enjoyed this one, so definitely a thumbs up. In this match, we had Bear Bronson versus Big Trouble Bishop. And this was Bishop's AEW debut. And he's, I think, arguably the tallest competitor in AEW Dark. I think he might be taller than Lance Archer. That's saying something. I think he's 6'11". So very, very tall competitor. And of course, facing a guy like Bear Bronson, who's not a small man by any stretch of imagination. But basically, he did have a good showing against Bronson, and Bronson has been very, very good since his partner has been on the sidelines of injury as well. But Bronson, I enjoyed his showing in this matchup. Enjoyed his showings in this matchup. I apologise, and it was a fun, short matchup. I enjoyed this one, and the sense and a very unique finisher to the matchup from Bronson with a lariat and senton combination, kind of. So that was kind of cool to see. And Bronson showing a bit more unique offenses he's done in the past, and it was a good showing from him. And again, showing he can do it as a singles wrestler. And you know, Bishop didn't have a bad debut here either, so I enjoyed this one. Thumbs up for sure. And the next matchup, I'm smiling, and I'll say why in a minute. It was Baron Black and Ryzen versus Fuego del Sol and Marco Stunt. Now, if you've been watching these videos in the past, you will know I'm a big fan of Fuego del Sol. I can't help but really root for him because he's a very talented wrestler, to be fair. But his story about his things with Sammy Guevara's vlog and everything is just been pure entertainment. And he is the only man, I know, he's not the only man in AEW who's ever had no wins. So Baron Black is another one. And him and Marco Stunt are part of the vlog crew for Sammy Guevara's vlog. And this matchup came out of Sammy Guevara's vlog as Baron, who was going to get the last win. So a win before they moved away from Jacksonville for a while. And of course, Baron Black and Ryzen tagged challenge Fuego del Sol and Marco Stunt. And this was a good tag match, to be fair, between these four. I enjoyed it because these four men worked very well together, but they know each other so well. So again, definitely not something I didn't expect. But the finish of the matchup came when Fuego del Sol hit the Tornado DDT on Ryzen and got the 1, 2, 3. And I can safely say I've never been happier for a result on AEW Dark. Not to say I've not been happy in the past, that's for sure. This is definitely happiness because Fuego finally got a win after so long. And he's not signed to AEW, so that makes it even funnier. Also, much more enjoyable, shall we say. But that aside, this was actually quite a good tag match. It was only 5 minutes and 32 seconds, but it was a good tag match from both teams. They did show some really unique offense, good tag team wrestling, and fast paced too. I was definitely saying it was very fast paced, and it was impressive. And obviously, so happy Fuego finally got a win because he's been a guy as of late in AEW that has been on the rise, and the support he's getting from the fans is incredible. I mean, it's kind of alongside Darby Allin's support, kind of unique competitor, but the fans just got behind him no matter what they did. And Fuego was another one. So to see him get the win was good. So thumbs up definitely for Fuego del Sol for getting his first win. And thumbs up to this match. It was actually the Fuego win side. So victory aside, it was a good tag match. It was enjoyable stuff for sure. This matchup was Chris Statlander having a matchup against the debuting, is that right? Viva Van. And Chris Statlander, since returning from injury, has been great, to be honest. I mean, obviously 10 months on the sideline with a bad knee injury. But I've said it before, since she's been back, she's not lost a step. she's been great, no other way to say it. And this was a good, fun, short matchup. And the Big Bang Theory did win it for Chris Statlander. And Van did show some unique moments at times, but this was definitely Chris Statlander's match. So she did win the matchup in convincing fashion. So there we go. This matchup was the Varsity Bronze versus Chad Lennox and Zachariah. And people who have seen this before, my videos before, know my thoughts on the Varsity Bronze. Really like them. The most babyface tag team in AEW, the most babyface looking tag team in AEW. And I enjoyed this one, to be fair. I enjoyed this fun, short match. I mean, the Varsity Bronze, as I said, are perhaps the most improved tag team in all of AEW in 2021. And they've been on a roll as of late. And after the very good matchup between Brian Pillman Jr. and Miro for the AEW TNT title, Brian Pillman's on a roll. Even though Brian lost that match, he did have a good showing in that matchup. And they showed it here. The tag team continuity between these two has been great. They seem to get better each week, to be fair. And sometimes you've seen different offense from these guys. And there's nothing wrong with that. I really do like the evolution of a tag team as it goes on. And I think that's going on with the Varsity Bronze, and I really, really dig it. Simple as that, really. So, fun, short tag match, though. I enjoyed this one. And, another win for the Varsity Bronze, so I can't fault that. So, thumbs up for that. And this matchup was Angelico versus Prince Kai. And, of course, Angelico, I've said it before and I'll say again, arguably the best submission wrestler in all of AEW with the Navarro style. There's not much the man doesn't know about submission wrestling, to be completely honest with you. And he showed it in this time in a very quick matchup against Prince Kai, 3 minutes 35 seconds, and the fluidity of Angelico's movement into wrestling is just second to none. He really showed it here too. And the way he went into the finish with the Navarro Death Roll was fantastic. And just shows what Angelico is all about, how good he is. He's so fluid and like water. It's like water in the wrestling ring, shall we say. So really enjoyable stuff. So definitely thumbs up. And the next matchup was Ryan Nemeth versus Wheeler Yuta. And Wheeler Yuta is a guy who I've known in wrestling for a long time, a hybrid wrestler. He does pretty much everything in professional wrestling, been in a lot of different places. And I'm going to say it. Ryan Nemeth lost to Wheeler Yuta, and I'm going to say it. A bit of an upset, because I did not see that coming at all. And take nothing away from Wheeler Yuta. I think he's a very talented wrestler. I've seen him in many matches. He's really, really good. And Nemeth losing was something I definitely did not expect. But Yuta got the win. And I think there's possibly more matches for Wheeler Yuta in his future. And I definitely would be against that, because I think he's great. Maybe picking up the win was an upset. And an upset I don't think Ryan Nemeth is going to be too happy about. And the rest of the wingmen, to be fair. So I think this was exactly what I think Wheeler Yuta needed to get that forward momentum, because I think he's got a matchup with Angelico coming up soon, which will be very good. But no. Wheeler Yuta picking up the win in an upset. It's something I did not expect, but certainly enjoyed. So thumbs up for sure. And this matchup was Hunter Knott and Rosario Carrillo versus Shawn Smith and Wardlow. And since Stadium Stampede, you are seeing more of the Pinnacle. That being, of course, Bronzong, Wardlow, and Shawn Spears on AEW Dark and AEW Dark Elevation. Nothing wrong with that, because I do like him. And I'm starting to see more of a tag team forming between Wardlow and Shawn Spears, even though they're usually singles wrestlers, and you do see them. Well, I think Wardlow does tag with MJF a bit more, but these two, I seem to click as a wrestling tag team, to be fair. And there's been a change in attitude in Shawn Spears in the last couple of weeks. He's been a bit more aggressive, and I kind of like that Spears, because I think Shawn Spears is a brilliant all-round wrestler, probably one of the very best AEW has, to be fair. And him and Wardlow just work as a tag team. Of course, they are part of the same faction, but these two just work very well together. So can't fault that. And it was a fun, short matchup with the C4, which is the running Death Valley driver from Shawn Spears, pick up the win. So there you go. And then came my match of the night. It was Kylan King versus Tay Cronte. And if there was ever two female wrestlers have superb 2021 in AEW, it's these two. Kaiden King has risen through the ranks in the last few months, has been great. Tay Conte has been one of the MVPs of the women's division in 2021. And this matchup was arguably one of the best women's matches I've ever seen in AEW Dark. And the back and forth matchup between these two was just stunning. No other way to say it. The counter wrestling, the hard hitting offense, the wrestling, the submissions. These ladies did everything, and they made it look so good against each other, and it worked so well. I thought this was, I'm not going to say Kaiden King's best performance to date, because she's had some fantastic performances, but it's up there for sure. And Tay Conte was also superb in this matchup, and she got the win in a very, very even matchup. I really couldn't see who was going to win this one because of the way these two went at it, and that was great to watch. And I thought this was, again, a brilliant advertisement of what the women's division can be like in AEW, and these two definitely did it justice for sure. And I thought the overall feel, the wrestling, everything in this matchup was just brilliant to watch. Back and forth, you couldn't pick a win until the DDT was hit by Tay Conte kind of out of nowhere. So cool to see that, but I really, really did enjoy this one. So definite thumbs up for both ladies for producing an excellent matchup. If you get the chance, watch this one. It is really, really good. So, thumbs up again. And this matchup was an 8-man tag match. It was Colt Commander, Alex Reynolds, Dark Order's number 10, and Angels versus Will Allday, Jason Hotch, Chandler Hopkins, and Dean Alexander. And very rarely do you see 8-man tag matches in AEW, but you saw one here. And this was mainly Dark Order, and I enjoyed Dark Order in this one because any combination of Dark Order you're just really going to enjoy it because of how they do things, and they do things very well. To be fair, I did enjoy this one. I did enjoy this one. Sorry, it was a fun, short 8-man tag match, a little chaotic at times, but sometimes these kind of matches can be like that. To be completely fair, but apologies, HUA. Yeah, but no, this was a fun matchup. So yeah, so my eye is starting to bug me, hay fever. I even took a tablet, it's still doing me good. Next matchup was Jack Evans versus Mike Seidel. And of course, the Seidel brothers have had their arguments with the Hybrid 2 as of late. And obviously, there's been the different combinations. You've had Angelico versus, you've had Jack Evans versus Matt Seidel from last week's episode, and that was a really good match. And against Mike Seidel, I think Jack Evans picking up the win was the right call. And again, these two men put on a very short but very good matchup. And knowing these two and the way that offense works, no argument there. I mean, Jack Evans, I've said it before, arguably the best high flyer in AEW. And Mike Seidel is just great. He's like his brother Matt Seidel. Fluid in the ring, great to watch, and can do pretty much no wrong. And I thought these two clashed very, very well. And kind of similarities between the two brothers of Seidel, the brothers of Seidel, but you know what I mean. But no, this was a good, fun, short matchup. I enjoyed this one. And Jack Evans, when he does that backslide and managed to get his legs over his opponent's body, it's just insane, to be honest. But it's entertaining to watch. And this was an entertaining match, to be fair. So, thumbs up for sure. This matchup was Ashley Vox versus Red Velvet. And another woman in 2021 that's had a great year is Red Velvet. She's been very entertaining to watch in the women's division, and she picked up the win in fairly quick fashion against Ashley Vox, who I've always got time to watch. I think she's really good. But she did pick up the win with the Chef's Kiss, Red Velvet being in fairly quick succession. So, good showing for both ladies, actually. So, there you go. Which brought us to the main event. It was Pente El Cerro Mielo and Eddie Kingston versus Chaos Project. And this was a fun, short matchup, to be fair, but knowing these two, they just did some very unique things. And Serpentico trying to chop Eddie Kingston was funny, no other way to say it, because Eddie Kingston is arguably perhaps one of the very toughest wrestlers on the planet. And him facing Serpentico was entertaining to watch. And Chaos Project doing what they usually do, and Serpentico being used as a weapon by Luther was very funny. I feel bad for Serpentico, I really do. After a superb matchup against Dante Martin earlier in the week on AEW Dark, for this to happen was unfortunate. But that aside, it was a fun, short matchup, to be fair, and a good main event, to be fair. And I thought the tag team wrestling was very unique because two very unique tag teams, but it worked. And I enjoyed this one. So, fun, short matchup to top off what was an entertaining, surprising, and good episode of AEW Dark. And the entertaining ways to end their run in Jacksonville until they hit the road. Obviously, next stop is Miami. So, a lot of interesting times to see where AEW goes from here. Obviously, they're going to be hitting the road a lot more. So, good way to end it. And they will be back in Jacksonville in August. So, there we go. So, thumbs up to what AEW Dark and AEW Dark Elevation and AEW programming has done in Jacksonville over the past few months, obviously during the pandemic. They've kept it going, and it's been great to watch. They've been going from strength to strength. And it's time to take it on the road and show the world what they can do and go back to the way things were, which is great, and really love to see it. So on that positive note, I will end the review here. Thank you so much for watching. I will see everybody next time. But until that time, take care.